the current status is such that the AI, machine learning, data science, for a long time they have been over-promising and under-delivering. And currently we are stuck with this ChatGPT technology, and I think that it's that there is a misunderstanding for many companies for whom the AI or this technology should be bringing some benefits. There is a misunderstanding between the problems they have and the tools which are available. And this is the bottom line of the current situation.
Welcome back, data enthusiasts. We've got a good one and a unique one today. We met with Nikita Loik. He is head of data science and machine learning at Artfacts. As the name suggests, they are in the art industry and a very unique Berlin-based and data-driven business. They're focused around AI and data and tech to organize and understand fully this broad, long, historical art industry and ecosystem. Today, we talked about the current state of AI and what could be beyond ChatGPT in terms of business value. And he's got some pretty strong ideas about three main areas. They are ML using graphs, reinforcement learning, and causal inference. So enjoy the podcast and let us know your thoughts. You're a professional in the data science and ML field at leadership level. I wonder, what's your take on the current state of AI and why do you believe it might have plateaued?
That's a superb question, and I think we discussed it like multiple times with my friends and colleagues. And I suspect that the current status is such that the AI, machine learning, data science, for a long time they have been over-promising and under-delivering. And currently we are stuck with this ChatGPT technology, and I think that. It's that there is a misunderstanding for many companies for whom the AI or this technology should be bringing some benefits. There is a misunderstanding between the problems they have and the tools which are available. And this is the bottom line of the current situation.
It's a funny one because I hear from data leaders, not unlike yourself, that their business leadership stakeholders have problems and they believe that something like the world of ChatGPT will solve it for them.
Yeah.
And then they might invest in something like this and they see a huge uptick in cost, but not a lot of value delivered. So with that, I also want to ask, what do you perceive to be the business value of AI, recognizing that from both the stakeholder groups from the business side, but also the stakeholder groups from the data science and the AI world?
So I would say that the key feature of AI and data science and machine learning is answering some questions within the company. And so what we have been learning over the past, 5-8 years is the benefit of the big data. And here we need to define what big data actually is. It's not actually the amount of data which is stored somewhere, but rather that you have all the data there is on a particular subject, or at least you don't care about anything else. So take it, for example, Amazon as an example. And Amazon knows everything there is about the users of Amazon. So it's exhaustive. And the same situation is with Facebook or Meta. for that for that matter, or LinkedIn. So they know everything within this domain. But if you are dealing with some other companies, like real companies, like companies where I am working with, which is the art world, we don't know everything. In fact, we know very little. We know so little that even the tip of the iceberg is actually a overestimation of how much we know, because tip of the iceberg suggests, like, 10% of, you observe 10% of what is there. In reality, many companies know about only 1% of what is there. And many companies are also dealing with something that is constantly evolving. So the problems facing the companies are facing with are different, and therefore the benefits that the AI should be giving those companies should be different. Yeah.
What do you perceive to be the business value for the art world of AI?
That's a good one, and easily done. So what do we know within the art world? Within the art world, we have, in our case, in Artfacts, we have a data collection. We know about roughly 1 million artists and 1 million art shows. This is a humongous amount. I don't know, Joe, how many artists can you name on a good day? On a good day, I can name 100, and I have to be pushed for that. So 1 million is probably 1,000 times more than a specialist can name. And still, this is just a fraction of what is available out there. In addition to this, we are dealing with the modern world, modern art, which is changing. So because what modern art is today, it's not what it's going to be tomorrow. And we want to know about this as well. And we want to be able to predict this. So what are the problems for us? So we know just a little bit about how the art world is structured. So it's completely opaque, and we want to make it transparent. So, for example, we do know some information about the prices in the art world, but of course we want to know all the prices in the art world, and we need to. So we have information about roughly 5% of. We have some prices for about 5% of the artists, and we want to predict or estimate the prices for the remaining 95%. It's not that very far from finding a fragment of an ancient vase and trying to reconstruct the whole vase from this. This is like an archaeologist problem. Another problem we are facing is we know what the artist's career is like today, what artists' artworks are, what he can ask for his or her artworks today, but we cannot estimate, or we don't know what is going to cost tomorrow. So we want to estimate that. So these are the problems we are trying to solve, and we are not trying to pretend that we know the exhaustively the art world. It will be a catalog of art.
So we have the artists, the data, or the artwork,
Yep.
the data. We have some prices of artworks that have been. That's more data. And we have a challenge to predict artwork, current artwork in the future, and maybe even predict artwork that's not yet been produced. So, for example, if you create that piece of pottery, or you create the next oil on canvas, what that artwork might cost based on what has gone before. Does that take in your world, the art world, does that take into account fashion, as in what people's tastes are in art and what the trends could be in the coming years? And I think of one example being artwork of Banksy, how that's right now.
Yeah.
Can the data we have right now predict that because we've had this era of Banksy, the next hot thing might be X, Y, Z?
That's actually another very cool question. So, because we are just poking in those blind spots of our work, so we can only observe certain aspects of the art world. We can collect information about the art shows. It's available publicly, like online, and we can collect this information, and this is what we are doing, and this is what we base our predictions on. So we, knowing how the artist's career has been developing so far, we can forecast and say like, okay, it's likely that artist's career will be developing this way, and we can estimate, okay, the prices for artists with such career development may look like this. This is one thing. Banksy is a completely different kind of story, and in this case, he's sort of a disruptor of the art world, because there are no nowadays there are art shows for Banksy, but when he started, it was just some murals and appearing here and there, and in some cases not even clearly assigned to him. So in this case, he's our like pure blind spot. Luckily for us, there are not too many Banksys in the art world. Like most artists are still following the classical career path.
Yeah, and as a side note, if there were a lot of Banksys in the world, then maybe it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be that precious and that exciting.
No. Okay, thanks for drawing us back to that business context of the value of AI. AI seems to move in trends, and various topics seem to be hot at different times. I understand you've got some pretty strong ideas about what the most interesting areas are now. Firstly, do you want to list those 3 interesting areas, and then let's go into it? Let's break each one down.
Instead of just slashing ChatGPT just one more time, and the reason it's not working for me personally and for our company is because we cannot we cannot solve the problems I described using this technology. So we need to look into something different. So let me list those, and then we dive into them one by one. One of them is machine learning using graphs. And in this case, the graphs is synonymous to the networks. Then it's a causal inference, and which is in some cases people are saying that this is part of statistics or something like this. Like it's a very condescending attitude to this discipline. And then of course it's a reinforcement learning. So those 3 are the key like techniques I'm focusing on, but there are many which are which I'm also considering and sometimes using when trying to solve those problems.
There are all topics that I am familiar and hearing about. Are you suggesting that they are hot only right now, or do you also believe that they can deliver the business value to outshine and certainly last a considerable period of time of business value over ChatGPT? I shouldn't have added that last bit, but
the technology whose name must not be mentioned. No, I would say that. Let me first of all say that they have been around for a while. They are not talked about so often as ChatGPT is, for an obvious reason. So ChatGPT made it possible for everyone to use this technology to produce something possibly useful for them. Most of those technologies people have never heard about. You have heard about them because you are talking a lot and working a lot with AI, machine learning, and data science, but most people have not heard about them because they cannot benefit from them like immediately and directly. So, but let me those are pretty well established ones. So, talking about the machine learning using graphs, for example, I would like to draw the kind of set up the historical and technological parallel
context.
Sorry? Provide some context for that. So the most recent 2 like great developments in the machine learning and AI were in my opinion. And if you or like any viewers can disagree with this, I'm happy. Please comment on that. So I would say it's a computer vision which climaxed with DAL-E some years ago, and now natural language processing, which climaxed, of course, with ChatGPT. If you look at the historical perspective, so the foundation for the computer vision was laid in, I don't know, 1950s, 1960s, like before either of us were born, probably. Well,
Probably.
Sorry.
Good.
And but
interview over.
And but then it became absolutely useful in the like 5 years ago, 6 years ago with the development of DAL-E. Then for LLMs, I would say that the foundational technology was LSTMs, which was the first papers on this was in the 90s, depending on how you look at it, is like 1991, 1997. And then we only got ChatGPT like right now. So the distance between the original, like the foundation, and the technology is shrinking. And the foundational paper for the graph neural networks was 2017, I think, by Leshkovets, who published on the SAGE graph, so how you basically define the context. What is interesting about them, in my view, again, is that they're very similar technologically. So in all three of those, one had to define the context of something. So in case of the computer vision, one had to define somehow the context of a pixel within an image. In large language models, one had to define the context of a word within a text. And in case of a graph neural networks, one had to define somehow the context of a node within a graph. So this is the perspective. And for us personally, it's brilliant because it's working with networks. So we can basically utilize this opportunity. So we can use those social networks. It's kind of just natural to use the tools which work with that.
Okay, here's something.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to consider data professionals who are starting out their journey.
Yes.
Combined with business leaders who are considering investing more in AI.
Mm-hmm.
With that, what is the business value of using graphs for ML, practically speaking?
This I cannot say for everyone, but I can capitalize on our own experience. So for us, the bottleneck in terms of what we are doing is data collection and data availability. So as I mentioned, like 1 million artists, 1 million art shows. It's not a big data, it doesn't cover everyone, and it's scarce, and lots of information is missing. So trying to build a classical model, feature-based model, is difficult and costly. But if we change this to graph-based methods, just the number of connections between the participants in this network is 200 million. So we are increasing the amount of information by 100 times, just changing the technology without going through the very costly data collection process. And shall I explain roughly what the idea behind the
yeah, please do.
Graph is, in case people are not familiar. So just the comparison between the classical feature-based model and the graph-based models. So if I'm trying to, for example, may I take you as an example? If I'm trying to estimate your salary, it's not that far away from trying to estimate a cost of an artwork. So I can do several things. I can ask you about your age, your gender, your educational background, what job you're doing, and then based on this, if I have enough data, try to estimate what your salary is. There is an alternative way of doing it. I can just ask the people you're working with, you're spending your working time with. Let's not take personal time, because you will have your grandma and your, I don't know, your child, for example,
relevant stakeholder group.
Who don't earn anything, and that's going to ruin the whole idea. But with whom you are meeting spending a lot of time professionally, and I can ask them about their salaries, and then I can just average that, and that would give a pretty neat estimation of what you may be earning yourself. So we are utilizing exactly that. So
so are you combining the data points method with the averages method?
Yeah, of course. Like we're not throwing away the data that we already have, but we are augmenting it with with whatever techniques we can.
Okay, cool. How do you think then that machine learning using graphs is going to evolve and stay relevant?
You might have heard about the graph cast, which came out like 2023, I think. I think they almost, when they published this paper, it's by Google. So it's a weather prediction technology based on again on the graph neural networks. And yeah. That does ring a bell.
It rings a bell now. Exactly.
And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they dropped the price of the Nvidia shares overnight, because weather forecast was relying heavily on those extremely complex computations, and there are multiple agencies worldwide trying to predict the weather, like with minute accuracy and so on, and the GraphCast just simplified that, and it was not necessary anymore to utilize this like extremely expensive computation.
It strikes me that it could be related to so many different industries.
Same thing is the industry I'm familiar with is drug discovery in pharmaceutical industry.
Okay.
Well, just because of my background in chemistry and biochemistry, and they are utilizing the knowledge graphs quite a lot for drug discovery, for simplifying this problem as well.
Very interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next hot topic, causal inference.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your understanding as to its business potential or its business impact.
That's a very cool subject, actually. So again, you yourself and your users may know about the problem of finding the clients who gonna churn. And the way it's classically solved, so lots of data scientists, they're building some model with loads of features and identifying the users who are likely to churn. And then they're doing this classical substitution of correlation and causation. It's like a mantra which exists in data science, that correlation is not equal causation, but still everybody is doing it. And then what they're doing is they're taking those features which they included in the model, trying to find those users, and then they're giving this information to the marketing department, so that marketing department is approaching them and fixing it somehow. And it doesn't fly. And it doesn't fly exactly for the reason above. So instead, one needs to identify what is causing this problem. So are there any confounding factors? And this is, again, the question with which we are trying to answer. So we are one of the very interesting questions for us as the company: is this artist gonna end up in an auction tomorrow? That's a cool one. So it's not just when the artist ends up in an auction, it means that the artist is really cool. So if there are and how do we know?
And in demand.
and in demand. Yeah, absolutely. And when the artwork becomes from just a wall decoration, moves from this category to a potential investment category. That's cool.
And that's also important business information.
Absolutely.
Because it will make businesses money.
Absolutely. So when, this one is definitely not an investment, but some might.
For those who can't see, we're looking at a generic IKEA type canvas print.
I bet it is. I don't even know where it's coming from, but it is a generic IKEA. You're absolutely right. But then. For example, we identify that many artists who end up in auctions were previously exhibiting in MoMA. That's not the causation, and actually there is a confounding factor that led them both to MoMA and to the auction.
Okay, there's a correlation.
There is a correlation, of course, between there's a massive correlation between those who end up in MoMA and those who end up in the auctions. But is it the causation? That's the question we basically have to answer. And this from correlation is not causation. We need to move to even more sciencey and more kind of highbrow phrase like post hoc ergo propter hoc, which means like after this doesn't mean as a result of this. It is kind of sequential, time sequential. So first MoMA, then Christie's, but is it cause and effect?
Interesting. I would want to go into that, but I'm conscious of time. So I also want to cover the topic of reinforcement learning. Tell me why you believe this is and will be of great business impact and potential, or value potential.
Again, this is a situation with which many companies are with which many companies have to deal. Is that we exist in the situation of unknown and developing world. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. How for example, the example you brought up is how the fashion is changing, how the preferences are changing. What comes apart from IKEA? What new actually, like artistically new, can come into the market? And for this purpose, we need to rely on something that gives us works much better with getting the feedback from our estimate. So the reinforcement learning is based on prediction, then getting the interaction with the reality, and getting the feedback, adjusting the prediction, right? And for this purpose, we can say, like, back to the price estimation, for example. We're trying to estimate the price. The user doesn't like the price. He's saying, like, this price is way too high or way too low. We have to adjust the price. And this can be changing because artist popularity is changing. Artists may be going out of fashion, and so on. The same thing is relevant for the behavior in the auctions. So how do you manage your portfolio if you have like investment worthy artworks in your portfolio? Do you sell them? Do you buy them? Whom do you sell? Whom do you buy? Another thing is an important, your audience may be familiar with the name of Kahneman and Thinking Fast and Slow in particular. Then they do know that our gains and our losses, we in our perception estimate we assign to them different values. So if you lost 5 pounds or if you gained 5 pounds, by the way, doesn't matter whether it's in weight or in money.
Thanks for clarifying.
You will be assigning different value to that, and we can introduce actually this into the model. It's also worth mentioning that if we misestimate the price, if we say that the set price is too high or is too low, the buyer and the seller will be estimating it from different perspectives as well. And we can also try and differentiate those penalties when we are dealing with reinforcement learning.
I'm thinking about data professionals in our industry. We ideally would want them to cover all areas of data science and machine learning.
Yeah.
If you are to pick for their benefit one of those three that could help them in their career, could be the most impactful, I know it's difficult to do, is the one that you think is one of those three game changers that is going to be with us for the foreseeable, and therein a good investment for a data professional to be studying and learning more about?
May rephrase slightly the settings. So first of all, I would like to limit the foreseeable to just like 5 years or so.
Which is a long time.
Yeah, we need to set some limits. Second, I wouldn't say just one you can learn and just cover everything, but let's name the first one to start with. So in which order to invest your time into this? So I would say start with the machine learning using graphs, and I would in this case I would quote my ex-boss, who quite smartly said that everything is a graph. So understanding how this technology works actually helps you to work with loads and loads of types of data in a completely different way, and this it changes the perspective on how you work with the data.
So that's kind of foundational then.
Absolutely, I would say it is the foundational one. Then I would say go with the. I would actually weight them pretty equally, the reinforcement learning and causal inference. Reinforcement learning is a slightly different beast. They all three actually are relying on graphs. That's one cool thing. This is another reason to begin with machine learning using graphs. But I would weigh the other two pretty much the same. So then, depending on what you find more useful for your business, just make a decision based on that.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for ranking rather than picking one. It demonstrates to me that they're all fundamentally important in terms of short-term or mid-term 5 years for businesses. What areas do you think ML professionals, juniors probably, should focus on to get the most value from their career for the next 5 years?
Something hardcore. It seems that classical, actually statistical methods and those things which were not particularly popular in the last, I don't know, couple of years. Well, it's not that they were not popular, but they were not that much discussed in the last a couple of years. They're gaining popularity again because as we started our discussion, there was a lot of over-promising and under-delivering, and those who were like those techniques which were staying in kind of shadow all this time, they will be gaining some limelight, I guess now.
Interesting. So don't lose sight of the need for statistics learning and having a statistics background.
Statistics, generally mathematics. So what I found recently useful, game theory is quite useful for solving particular problems.
You know, from a recruitment perspective, I would echo those thoughts. And when I say recruitment perspective, it's because We see data professionals skipping over statistics or not even coming from a math background and going straight into some data science modules.
Yeah.
And then where, what do the phrase, where the rubber hits the road, as in getting a job, they
Yeah.
struggle because data employers, real data focused employers, they need to see that statistical foundation, that knowledge
Absolutely.
that you as the data professional have, that strong foundational understanding. So yeah, strong points you make, and I would echo them from the kind of business angle as well.
If we can throw in another word, probability theory goes exactly into the same kind of bucket. So it's probability theory, statistics, game theory, just like they are all good, still working.
Game theory, probability theory, for my reading as well. Nikita, I want to thank you. It's
Thank
been
you.
it's been pretty concise. Thanks for sharing those three major interest areas for you and what you think are hot right now. I would encourage anyone who is listening and is interested to reach out to you directly, and I'll leave a link with your public contact details. What are you working on currently that could be of interest? Where could people find out more about this?
All of well, definitely check out the Artfacts website. If we can provide a link to that one as well, we can do that. So all our updates are there. Otherwise, check my LinkedIn page, and that should be fine. We can also share, I guess, some links to the to the topics I mentioned. So I don't know, some courses or some information if anybody is up for that. So I think that's you can find those in description, I guess.
Fantastic. I'll make sure that happens.
I'll make sure to send them over, and then it's up to you.
Yeah, wonderful. And finally, thanks very much, and see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.